This is Humanity 2.0. Vanessa the Vivacious, your host, just coming by to wish you the best day ever. Starting to get a little bit colder out there. It's starting to get a little bit darker, a little bit earlier, but frankly, I think it's the best thing ever. You see, I'm a Texas girl and it's hot. It is so dang hot in Texas. So it becoming cold is the answer to my prayers. It's the answer to my electricity bill. And it's the reason why I'm so excited right now, even though it's super early in the morning. 8 o'clock is early for me. Again, Humanity 2.0 podcast is a brand new show that started within, I guess, 2024 when the concept came out. We interviewed vast amounts of people over the last 5-year period. And in doing so, I discovered that there was just so much intricacy and so much story and just beautiful representations of humanity in other people. And I thought that it would be the best shot for humanity to come back to where we once were and to move forward into another chapter of humanity where we could really embrace one another without prompt and hold each other up and do what we need to do to repair what's been hurt, because there are a lot of hurt people out there. There's also a lot of sadness out there and a lot of, I guess, gloom, if you want to call it that. But I feel like sharing our stories and sharing our desires for a better humanity, our hopes for a better humanity, that will make all the difference, and it'll help inspire other people, or it'll resonate with them, and it'll give all of us a chance to connect again, which is so important. So I hope that you will join me on this journey. I hope that you will consider being a guest, because I want to interview all of humanity, which is impossible, but it's a good goal. Definitely reach out. If you have any questions for guests about humanity, totally hit me up. Either send a message on social or send me an email. You can catch me at vanessathevivacious@gmail.com or my website, vanessathevivacious.com. Now, Humanity 2.0 definitely wants you to follow and sub like everyone else, but in following us, you're becoming part of the journey of humanity versus humanity, I guess, because we're going to change humanity, and we're going to help it, changing the world. That's a big goal, but I think that's a good goal that we could all have in some way, shape, or form. For myself, when I was a young girl, my first act of selflessness was in Mexico. My family used to visit Mexico to visit other family who lived in Mexico. We were born in Texas, and so we would go there every summer. And I remember it was a totally different world, but the concept of compassion and selflessness was universal, still is, right? And so my first act of selflessness was giving money to someone who was homeless on the street, and I didn't know what homelessness was. So it was a totally brand new concept to see somebody sitting outside. And I remember asking my mom, I was very little. I can't even tell you how old I was, but I was so small. And I remember asking her, why didn't they go home? Why couldn't they just go home? And she said, this is their home. This is where they live. And it just crushed me inside. I felt feelings I'd never felt before. I was so sad for them. And so I took my money, because she gave us Mexican money, and I gave it to this person who was sitting on the street. I gave them all of it, not just one peso or one, coin. I gave them all of it, because I just felt so sad for them, and I wanted to help them. So I gave them all of my money, and I felt so good, because I thought, if they could have but a moment of wealth or a moment of security. Of course, I didn't think this as a young child, but thinking about it now, I consider that feeling that I gave them everything I had because it was all I knew to do. That I can say I did feel as a kid. And so I don't know, and I imagine she was, but my mother didn't remark on it exactly. She didn't say, that was so good of you to do that. She didn't do that. But I'm sure she felt it inside. But all that mattered to me was helping that person. And I did this act just out of nowhere. It was automatic to me. It was inherent, I guess. I didn't plan it. Again, I didn't know what homelessness was. Unfortunately, years later, I had an experience of this, but giving my money to someone as a kid in Mexico, I'll never forget that, because that was the first act of kindness, the first act of selflessness, the first time that I'd ever come across anyone homeless. And so it has stayed with me my entire life. And I've been lucky to remember that feeling and do it over and over and over. Over my life, I've made it a mission to do kind things for other people with no reward, with no guarantee of applause or accolade or anything like that. I've just done it because it feels like breathing to me to do something nice for someone else, or to give a good word. You walk around every day and you compliment people, right? You tell them good things about themselves or things that they're doing. And a lot of the time we don't realize that that has a significant weight, that something you said about that person's work or that person's style or that person's warmth, something that they've conveyed that's so remarkable to you that you had to remark back and let them know how amazing that was. It can have a profound impact. They might be having a bad day. They might be having a bad month. They might be struggling internally, and what you said just really gave them a boost, or it gave them a really, really nice feeling. So what we say is so important, but to give positivity and to give warmth and empathy and compassion, that's a gift. So I make it a point to always do that. And I feel like that changes the world a little bit. It's changing the world one compliment, one act at a time, one interview at a time. So like I said, words mean a lot. They inspire us. They help us to move forward. In fact, I was recently on a podcast episode for Relatable Wisdom. You should check out that show. It's very, very awesome. And I was asked about my favorite quote. So as common as this is, it was not to me when I found it. I found this on Facebook Marketplace, and I saw that and I thought, man, that's just so beautiful. I can't believe it. It's so beautiful. And something just really drew me to it, like a kind of magnetism, right? And I thought, man, I need to buy that. I need to own that. And then I thought, oh, that's so frivolous. But then I thought, no. There's something about that. When I found this quote, I remember taking it home and cleaning it off and then hanging it up and reading it over and over. And then, as the days went by, as the months went by, I still went back to the quote on the wall thinking, there's a purpose for you. There's a reason why you exist. And there was. It was meant to push me to do. Doing is so important. We can dream, we can desire, we can seek, we can hope, we can plan. But if we do not do, then we're just standing still. And I, for one, don't really care to stand still all the time anyway. And so because of that quote, I went back to school. Because of that quote, I took different jobs. Because of that quote, I started my own production company and did freelance work. I still do. But the quote changed a lot for me. And any time that I am on like a middle of the road path, about two different paths. Wait, that makes no sense. Anytime I'm on a diverging road, I will look at that quote and remind myself about doing. I'll remind myself that because I believed I could, I did, or because I believe I could, I can, I will do. But then I think about it now, and it kind of has changed a little bit for me in that I think about the belief and doing because I believed I could, but now there's proof behind it. There's examples. And so I think about what I did, and then I believe, and then I do. So it's been a wild ride with that quote. I loved it so much that I even put it on my wall in one of my other rooms. Okay, the bathroom. It's on the bathroom wall. So I hope you're having the best day ever. This was a very impromptu recording. I don't normally do these, but I thought about it, and I thought that I could use this post, this solo cast, for not only Humanity 2.0, but also to post on my other show that's been around since like 2012. When I was getting interviewed the other day, I remembered that I don't post on it enough. And that's my fault because I have this ridiculous aversion, some might say allergy to routine. I'm really bad about doing things on like a regular schedule. Oh man, it hasn't really like torn my life apart or anything, but it just makes it more interesting, and colorful. So I'm going to post this there too. So to those of you who may listen to Vanessa the Vivacious show, which my God, it's been forever. And I say that like every episode because I swear I record like once a year or once every blue moon. So it's embarrassing too, by the way, because that was when I first started back in 2012. As I told the gentleman yesterday, my inspiration was Ira Glass, This American Life. If you've not heard it, that is one of like the most amazing podcasts to exist. So that's where I became inspired. And I never really tried to emulate his magic because you can't. Well, some can, but I just, I think it's better to be ourselves rather than to emulate someone else. We can be inspired by them, but I feel like we should be ourselves and create something new. So anyway, this show will also be posted on that channel. If you do happen to check it out, just, disclaimer, it's back in 2012. A lot of what you have now didn't exist. Microphones like this only existed in studios. Really good recording software didn't exist to the public. So yeah, you're going to hear it, but I leave it up there because for one thing, it's a part of me, right? It's part of my history, and listening to it, sometimes it's cringy, but then it's part of my evolution, I guess. If you can imagine it, I had a 1-bedroom apartment. It was small yet comfortable. I would sit there with my desktop computer in front of me, and then I would connect this microphone. It looks like a Q-tip where it has like a teeny tiny microphone on top, and then it has like a jack for a headphone jack, right? And it has the worst audio quality in the world. Maybe I'll record an episode with it just because of nostalgia. But that was it. That was all I had. This tiny little Q-tip of a microphone that was so bad. And the background noise was atrocious. And I had no idea. Well, I had no idea exactly at the time regarding copyright infringement for music. So I didn't know what to talk about. So I would just like say, I'd talk for about maybe like 2 to 5 minutes. And then I'd say, all right, now we're going to play some music or catch you after this music break. And, just kind of experimenting, but maybe I should have been a disc jockey. Anyway, it was interesting. So if you happen to check out that show, it's on Apple Podcast and Spreaker. No, I don't even know anyone that uses Spreaker, but that's where I started, Spreaker and Apple Podcast, Vanessa the Vivacious Show. But this is the one that you want to follow and subscribe to. YouTube, currently it's Vanessa the Vivacious channel. And then on social for Humanity 2.0 podcast, it's Humanity 2.0 podcast. On Instagram, on TikTok as well. And the reason why I wanted to put it on TikTok was to make trailers for all of the guests, which is important, I think. Showcase little moments of their awesomeness. But then also because we have a video series. 8.2 billion people in the world, and look at us. We're so alone, and it's so not okay. My name's Vanessa, and I spent the last 4 years traveling America, interviewing strangers on video and podcast, and I learned so much about humanity. But why is this important, and why should you care? Well, I have thousands of hours of footage that has never seen the light of day, but it shows humanity at its best. So I'm taking these interviews, I'm sharing them here with you in hopes that we can spark our love for one another. There is still time, I know it. Follow for more. The video series is basically me taking moments, just moments, slivers of time from all of these interviews that I've done over the last 5 years. How amazing would it be to just, peer into someone's life for just 30 seconds or less, or a minute or less, and hear something so profound and beautiful. I feel like the footage that I've acquired over the last 5 years, it would be a crime not to share it. So that's why the video series exists, to share moments of humanity with humanity, to inspire and to give hope, give warmth, give compassion. So I hope that you'll follow the video series on TikTok and Instagram. I hope that you will follow the YouTube channel. And then my other account, my personal accounts, all the platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, even it's at Vanessa the Vivacious on all of those platforms. Please share with your friends. It's so humbling, interesting to start over, because I worked with other groups and other production companies, one of which their following was like 2 million. And then during my time there, it got to 4 million. And Instagram, I think, got to 500,000. And so working with that company was super, super fun. And starting back from ground zero is definitely humbling, but interesting. And it's a journey. So like they say online, it starts with one follower, and that is true. So I hope that you will follow and subscribe and share all that good stuff. And above all, I hope that you get a message from Humanity 2.0. And I hope that you share it with me if you do. That would mean the world. If you do get something, whatever you receive from the show, please tell me in the comments or send me a message. I would love to hear it. That would mean the world to me. And thanks for joining me for this impromptu solo cast. Hope you guys have the best day of your lives. Don't forget to be vivacious and be good to other humans. So says Humanity 2.0.